Hello and welcome back to the channel. First things first, let's talk about what this video is not, because there are no emptiers, tricks, cheats, plugin or shenanigans of any description in this video. I am simply going to be talking about this machine here, which is the old Maygay fruit machine Screenplay. I'm going to be talking about the machine, going to play it, go through all the features, and I'll be talking about Pook's layouts here as well. But that's it. It's kind of a fruit machine review slash reminisce session. So I want to manage expectations up front, because if you're watching the channel, and I do understand that, because most of the videos up thus far have been, featuring emptiers and tricks and cheats and discussing how machines were done. So that's a reasonable thing to expect to see in one of these videos, but that's not going to be happening in this video. It's like I say, it's more of a fruit machine review and fruit machine chat, and going forward, that's probably something that I'm going to start doing more of. Is talking more around the fruit machines themselves, the history of fruit machines, the history of fruit machine emulation layout, and all that kind of thing. And that's not to say I'm not doing any more tricks, cheats, empties, all that kind of thing. I've already got a couple of videos recorded that I'll be uploading in the next few days. There's plenty more in the tank, so they will be coming as well. But I also want to get more into fruit machines themselves, and the first video that I thought I would do along those lines was for this machine here, which is Screenplay, because I am calling this out as one of the finest fruit machines ever made, because Maygay absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Now, there are a lot of criticisms that can be levelled at Maygay. Some of their coding was a bit suspect, their block system was rather dodgy. Their machines were doable. Certainly by the £8 era, they were very, very doable. I've talked before about how I've had a lot of dreadful experiences with Maygay in the past, and then I think by the time they got to the £15 and £25 era, they were in a pretty sorry state. Their machines in the £15 and £25 era, unless you were doing something on them, they were not good machines to play. But if we go back to the £4.80 and £6 token era, they produced some fantastic machines. Not just Screenplay, of course. You would have Monopoly, Deluxe Monopoly, you had Cluedo, you had EastEnders, you had Gladiators, you had Noel's House Party, a Maygay. There was just, That's Life, that was another one. The original Simpsons AWP. They were absolutely on fire in this era, the £4.80, £6 token jackpot era, and I think the shortcomings in their code were perhaps hidden a little bit by the small size of the stakes and the jackpot, because we're talking 20p stake, we're talking £6 jackpot, so your jackpot's only 30 times your stake. Now, Screenplay was originally released with a £4.80 token jackpot, £2.40 cash repeater. We're running here some later £3 repeater, £6 token jackpot ROMs, and what we have in front of us here are the two layouts that Pook made for this machine. Now, on the left hand side, he's done what we would call a normal DX layout. This is a kind of fruit machine emulation terminology. I don't quite know where it came from or exactly what it was supposed to designate, but DX is a layout that uses real artwork or photos, flyers, proper source material to recreate the original machine as faithfully as possible on your computer, whereas a PDX or Part DX take some liberties with the layout of the machine or the artwork or something like that for whatever reason may be required. So if we look at what the actual machine looked like, that's a real Screenplay machine. So you can see that, in fact, well, I don't know, I've got this, there we are, that's better, that makes more sense. So if you look on the left hand side, you can see there that what Pook has done is a really good DX layout where he's captured everything about the machine accurately, the size of the screen, the layout of the cache panels and all that sort of thing, and we have a good solid DX layout, as you'd expect from Pook, who's now been kicking out fantastic layouts for how many years now? God, 14 years, 15 years, something like that, maybe even more. I can't remember when Excellent got going, but Pook's been doing this stuff for a long time now. The issue with this, and I think this is why he did this layout as well, the problem with the DX layout is that it just looks a bit small. Now, I've got a fairly decent screen here. I've got a 1440p screen, 27 inch, and this to me is a bit too small. It's slightly uncomfortable when you're reading the questions or doing some of the games. It's not ideal. So even though that's a more accurate representation of the real machine, I think Pook made a very good choice in doing this DX layout here, and you can see what he's done is that he's basically turned the top glass over to the screen and he scrunched everything else down into the bottom glass there. So that's a fair way away from how the real machine looked, but my personal feeling is that if Maygay could have actually made the machine look like this at the time, they probably would have done, because this to me looks far better than the real machine. But if you're going back to 1991 this machine came out, I'm saying Maygay would have been constrained by the technology of the time. There were no flat panel screens back then. What you've got in there is basically a small television. That's a cathode ray tube in there. You can see it bending around at the corners as they did. So they were going to be limited in terms of cost, size, weight, and of course depth, because the wider, the bigger you made the sort of front of the screen, the deeper it had to be to accommodate the tube. So my personal feeling is that that was what the limits, cost and technology-wise, and size of the cabinet-wise, that Maygay could fit that screen in. And I honestly think that they would have made the machine look like this if they could have done. So hats off to Pook here for really coming up with a good solution to the problem of it all looking a little bit small on that side there. So we're going to be playing this one on the right hand side. Probably just going to put a 5 or a 10 through it, take all the features, have a look round it, and try and understand what made these older AWPs so compelling, and let's tell it like it is, so addictive as well, because these things were addictive. You wanted to play them, and you wanted to just keep playing them because you knew that they could streak, and there was something about them, because they were sort of fun. Even though they were gambling, you, at the end of the day, you were staking money and attempting to win money. So even they were basically gambling. This low stake, low prize, unique sort of UK proposition of the amusement with prize machine meant that, for my money, I think they slipped under the radar as gambling machines that just could be found in pubs and arcades and cafes, train stations, wherever you went. I mean, it's not so much now, but I remember very, very clearly in the early 90s, and I mean, I didn't start playing fruit machines until 1990, but I remember as a child in the late 70s and 80s, fruit machines were everywhere. They were just absolutely everywhere. They were ubiquitous. Everywhere had fruit machines. And they did it by virtue of being amusement with prizes. And this is, I think, one of the very finest examples of how you can be an entertaining machine and yet at the same time kind of hook your player with ultimately the fact that you're gambling, and you are gambling money and you're trying to win more money, but at the same time be notionally, well, not even notionally, they were genuinely entertaining. That was the very, very devious thing about them, and that was what I found so utterly consuming at the time. Now we can get this screenplay thing here, all these little segments on the clapperboard here. Bars add to that, so a single bar adds 1 and a double bar adds 2, and then what we can do is get a sort of barcode thing. So I don't even 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4. So if we hold them all, I think one of them is 10 nudges. So let me just, so 1 2 3, it's not that, 1 3 2, oh there we are, that'll do. So we'll get 10 nudges for that barcode, and then that should give us the £3 plus repeat chance. There we are. And this was where Maygay were just about going into the full sample era. There is still some chip music on this machine, some of the, like when you get the trivia challenge and things like that, the music is not actually a sample, but like that, a lot of this stuff was sample based. And I think Maygay were certainly amongst the first to do samples, proper sample packs on their machines. I think BFM were doing them around this time as well. Barcrest were a little late to the party. Barcrest, as far as I can remember, were still doing like the old-fashioned style chip effects at this time. With the, I think they used an AY chip in the machine. So we've got a trivia challenge. I mean, what a genius idea to just add in a trivia challenge on a fruit machine. Why not? Now, you couldn't always win anything on this. Sometimes it would give you a cash prize, but often it would just give you some nudges or some points that you couldn't get anything with. Oh, there we are, a quid on food and drink, and that's handy because eating and drinking are two of my favourite things to do. So let's have that. What is it? Zabaglione? I don't know what fucking Zabaglione is. It's cheese. I don't know what you know what? That's so embarrassing, isn't it? I don't really. I'm not much of a gourmand. I don't really. What is Zabaglione? I'm going to Google that in a moment. We'll Google that and find out what it is, because that was moderately embarrassing. I should probably know that. I'm not particularly cultured, I would be the first to admit. But yeah, it can throw those trivia challenges in whenever. Oh, now. Let's reveal the feature. Now, concentration, I was always really, really bad at. Got that great music in the background as well. You can imagine, go back to 1991, you're playing a machine in a pub or in an arcade, and they tended to have the volume turned up on these things, and it starts kicking out this awesome music. You've got full colour graphics on the screen here. The machines looked great as well. Maygay had a really good eye for design, so you can understand why these things were ferociously popular. Now, I was always very bad at concentration. Let's have a go. Oh, memorize. Ace, 2, 2. I think I got... Oh, no. Oh, I didn't actually mean to do that. I think there was an ace there. I got the aces, and I think there was a 2... Oh, no, that was a 3. Oh, shit. Now it's got... Oh, there's a 3. Oh, I ran out of chance. I never, ever took concentration. I just couldn't do it. Which is unusual, because on the Crystal Maze SWP there was like a concentration style game that I was really good at. Right, don't ask me about fucking Zabaglione again, whatever that is. What is? I have no idea what Zabaglione is. I've never eaten it. Right, famous people. Linda Eastman. Who's Linda? You know, I should probably know this, because these are questions. Actually, is it Paul McCartney? I'm not much of a one for celebrities either. Oh, right, okay, 7, let's have a go. Nighttime. Now, after having been so bad at concentration and the trivia challenges, I used to be quite good at nighttime. Let's see if I still am. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? I used to be able to take this out to the repeater, like, all the time. I think it was there again. Let's have another one. Yeah, that was there. Now it starts getting fast. You've got to zone in. It was either left or... Oh, it was left. It was left. Yeah, I should have gone with my instinct there. I always used to say that. Go with your instinct. Don't overthink it. So, up to now, we've failed on Zabaglione and Linda Eastman, who is a... Was she one of Paul McCartney's earlier wives? I can only ever remember him with that Heather Mills McCartney. I have no idea. I can't remember. Oh, because of course it was Linda McCartney, wasn't it? With the fucking... the sausages that aren't sausages. I guess it was... Yeah. If it would have said... if it would have said Linda McCartney, that would have given it away, wouldn't it? Of course. So, yes, it was... Okay, fine. Right, duck feature. I was always shit at this as well. Right, God almighty. Right, I was always really bad at this too. Well, I should be able to hit that. There we are. It gets faster. Go bang, and bang, and bang, bang, bang. Ah! I think you've got to wedge it for that one. £1.60. Now, if it holds after... Oh, there we are. Trivia. Oh! We don't want a trivia. And it's held after nudges for a jackpot. So, we don't... We just let them spin that, and we'll get... another nice little sample. That is a really nice hold after nudges. Who needs Linda McCartney and her vegetarian sausages when we've got the machine holding after nudges for a jackpot? Now, I would have been hoping in the wild that was signifying the start of a streak, but maybe not. I will say here, by the way, that I've not done any prepping on this machine. I've not tried to get it in a good mood. I've not done any autoplay through it. I have just picked it up as whatever state it was in when I last played it, so it's in a kind of natural state, if you will, because if there were any methods on this, I don't know what they were, so I've never done them in the emulator. So this has just been kind of naturally played by me over the months since Pook released these layouts. So I mean, we're not doing okay. We're not doing too bad. Rather, we're 15 quid in, and we've got £13 in the bank. Now, there's certainly another couple of features that we would like to see. There's like a strike it lucky style, hotspot style game. Oh, go on, that would have been nice to hold the clapperboard there. Okay, now it's... Well, we've got a win, so 5. Nighttime. I think I can hit nighttime. I think I can take this out. I'm a bit annoyed that I missed it last time. So let's have another go at this. Come on. Oh, that was easy. That was there. Oh dear. Yep, okay, yep, that was right. I was a bit torn there if it was 1 or 3. I think that's 3 again. Yep. Come on, 2 more. 2 more. Oh, I think that was 1. Fuck, 3! Ah! Da, 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 da. And the point here, I guess, is that these things were genuinely entertaining. I mean, can you think... I mean, compare this. Compare Screenplay to, say, a fucking Betcom and the millions and millions of clones that there are of Betcoms. I did a video on Betcoms 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I called it undignified Betcoms, and the use of that word wasn't accidental, because they've regressed. Fruit machines have devolved from what they were. It's like they're not even making an effort anymore to actually be amusement with prizes, whereas manufacturers back in the day, when the jackpots were so small and the stakes were small, kind of understood that they had to make an effort to get the players' attention, so that they did put some, you know, kind of dedication into making the machine interesting and fun and to play. And they would try and put things in that separated them out from their competitors, which is where, I mean, Maygay I thought I'd have a gamble on that just to get away from nighttime again. And Maygay this was a genius idea. I don't know why this putting the screen and giving you the video games and the little trivia challenges and all that sort of thing, I don't know why that didn't gain more traction. I can remember a couple of them that they did for the pub and the arcade market. There was a football themed one, as I recall, and I think they also did a club one with a video screen on it, but it didn't seem to last that long. I don't know if the tech proved too unreliable, the screens kept breaking or something like that, but unfortunately they didn't seem to last more than a couple of years. But some other God, sported. Let's have a go at sport. Queensbury, that's boxing, isn't it? There we are. Yeah, better. Yeah. Just don't ask me about Zabligligi fucking Oni, whatever that is. No, but that's not even a real thing. I think they've made that up, Zabligioni. You'd just have a pizza, wouldn't you? I'm guessing it's Italian. I don't know. I'm a bit uncouth. I'm a bit, you know, lower class northern scum, really, so I don't know about things like that. Right, there. No holds. So overall, I think it's easy to see why these machines were so popular, why fruit machines were so popular in pubs at the time. These things got played, people liked them. You would just see people have... Oh, 4, 10, 5, 2, 3. Okay, hang on. 4, 10, 5, 2... Oh, still got it. And it's a shame you can't gamble for the jackpot, because I think a 3 was the last card. No repeat. So, yeah, fruit machines back in the early 90s, they got played. You would see people stood in front of the fruit machines. They'd be playing them with their friends. They were like part of the pub. They were kind of like a social activity in the pub. Whereas now, you can be in a pub for hours and not see anyone play the fruit machines. If you look at that video that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago, donned the next level of beard, we were in that pub for hours and nobody else played it apart from me. Nobody went near it. People just don't bother now, and why would you? Because there's just no entertainment. There is no... The amusement side of things has completely gone. There are no little interesting quirks and features like trivia challenges on a fruit machine, video games on a fruit machine, and even where they have been tried over the years. I think Bellfruit have had a couple of games where they've put there was a golf themed one that Reg released a layout for MFME V5. The issue with that is that because the jackpot now is so big, the video games and the trivia challenge, whatever they may be, if they're implemented, can only pay you a tiny fraction of the jackpot, because the jackpot is so big that it has to be very, very tightly guarded. So you can't have, as they were on Screenplay, just kicking out the cash repeater. I could regularly take the nighttime feature out to the cash repeater, which is the cash jackpot. They couldn't have that now. So 30 points or 2 nudges. Well, neither is very good. Let's have trivia. What kind of weapon is a Bofors gun? I think it's anti-aircraft. There we are. Yes. Okay, but it doesn't really help me. That would often happen, is that sometimes you wouldn't actually... Oh, there we are. No, come on, give us a... Oh, nudges would be okay here. 3 nudges. Sport. Oh dear, I'm not very good at sport. The Jules Rimmett. Fuck knows. Ballooning, football, cycling. Oh, I don't know. Who's Jules Rimmett? Oh, we'll have another trivia challenge. Nudges. Oh, £1.20. Places, right. We're good at places. It's got to be Manchester, surely. It's got to be Manchester. What? The Manchester Ship Canal. I'm not exactly putting myself off over here as a towering intellectual giant, am I? I'm managing to get nearly all the questions wrong, so... I could have done with that as well, because I am actually losing a few quid at this point. There we are, let's get back in. 10 to ace 5 jack. 10 to ace 5. Got to be quick for that. You've always got to be ready for it to do that little quick reveal on the cards, and you've got to be super fast to get it. Repeat would be nice. No. So there's a couple of features that we haven't seen, and the thing... I'm actually, even when I'm doing this video, I'm actually kind of losing myself in the machine. I'm genuinely enjoying playing it. I'm finding it entertaining, and I'm remembering what was so good about these things, They were a unique There we are, win series. You should always have win series. It's just something that's completely missing now from fruit machines is the entertainment factor. I mean, one thing that springs to mind is we were away August last year, back in Manchester visiting family, and we were staying at the new Premier Inn in Bury near the Metrolink station. It's a stone's throw from the town centre, and we had 2 rooms in the hotel. My wife and daughter were in the room next door, and I had a room to myself just because we didn't want my daughter sleeping by herself. So I had a room to myself. So you know what? After... my wife and daughter had settled down for the evening, I was on a free rein there. There was nothing stopping me walking into town, getting a few beers, playing the fruit machines, and doing that of an evening. And I just couldn't be bothered once, because I know what modern fruit machines are like. They're just not interesting. They're not fun, and the amount of money that you need to take out with you. If you get involved with a machine now, you think, I'm going to try and see if I can get a jackpot out of this, or I'm going to get involved with it. You need like 200 quid on you. Even like a betcom, if a betcom goes badly wrong on a force, you can be £180 into that fucking thing before it'll finally cave, potentially just for a flat 100. They're not entertainment anymore. They're just fairly serious gambling devices, whereas I swear to God, if I could have gone round the pubs of Bury and there were like a modern incarnation of machines like this, maybe on a £25 jackpot, 50p play, something like that, I'd have been out there. No question whatsoever, because it would have been, even if I'd have lost a few quid, I would have felt that I'd had some fun. I'd have felt that I got a little bit of mileage for my money, and that was the thing with these, when I was dreadfully addicted to them in the early 90s, is that even if you lost your money, even if you lost all your money, you always kind of got a little bit of bang for your buck. So, I mean, the reason I lost all my money on a regular basis because I just kind of never stopped playing them. Duck Shoot, we didn't do very well at that, but... And that was, I mean, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword in a way, because that was the pernicious thing about them, because they managed to be genuinely entertaining and interesting, and they had, genuinely skillful features on them, skill stops, real matches, all that kind of thing. They were, certainly for me, that the pull of them was just irresistible. Don't give me cherries here. Cool, 7. Oh! Jackpot off scratch card! We'll have it! That's a good result there. We'll have that. Oh, and that's a £30 bank. Fantastic. There we are. But yeah, seriously, I would play these. I would play, if these were in the pub now, just updated versions of these with a sensible jackpot, I'd be all over them like a cheap suit, because these are good fruit machines. They're entertaining fruit machines. They're masterfully designed. How we've gone so far backwards from what we had 17, 18 years ago, I have no fucking idea. Nighttime, I'm going to have one last go at nighttime because I'm not happy with my performance on this. First, come on, that's one. Well, that's 3. Ooh, 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Bollocks, it was 1. We used to gather around the fruit machine, and when these were in the pubs, you'd get 3 of you. 3 or 4 of you stood around the fruit machine doing that and arguing over which one it was. They, like I say, they were a sort of social experience, the fruit machines then. Something which they're really not these days at all, and it's no surprise to me that you just see them left unplayed, untouched for hours and hours at a time. They lost their way, they pursued bigger stakes, bigger prizes, and I think the industry completely failed to understand what it was that made them appealing in the first place. Was that people... if you want to gamble, if you want to have a proper gamble, there's always been ways to do that. You could go to the casino, or you could go to the bookies, place a bet, whatever it may be. There's been no shortage of ways to actually gamble. I think the thing with AWPs is that they were sort of gambling, but without being ostensibly, proper gambling. That they tried to put some fun and entertainment in there as well. So how have we done? So after all that, I've been playing there for... Oh, one last go. What have we got? Cash Grid. Well, we haven't done Cash Grid yet, so we'll have that. It's a little bit... It'll give you what it gives you, and if you hit a hot spot, which you inevitably do... Oh, come on, not £1. Oh, yeah. It was never my favourite one, Cash Grid. Theoretically, I think you could get 240 plus repeat off it, but it never particularly seemed to happen. So after all that, this video's coming up to a half an hour, so I will shut up now because I've been going on a bit. Video's coming up to half an hour. I think I've been playing the machine for over 20 minutes, and I have won 60p. The point there being that these were machines that you could play for an amount of time, and you would at least get, certainly with machines that weren't doable, machines that weren't being nobbled and left absolutely dead, of which there were many at this time, of course. But I think if you got a fair game on an AWP, on a £4.80, a £6 jackpot, if you got a fair game, even if you lose, you didn't feel too hard done to, because you'd get some entertainment and you'd get some fun. I think this machine absolutely holds up today. It's still very playable, and there are a lot of machines like this in the sort of fruit machine emulation canon, if you will, that I can cheerfully just fire up and play for 20, 30, 40 minutes. My favourite thing to do is kind of what I did with Screenplay there, is just play it. Just keep putting money in until I hit the bank limit and it auto collects, and look at what my stats are. And then in a few weeks' time, I'll probably load this up again and play it again and do the same thing, because this is fun, this is entertaining. I actually find these machines in the emulator far more entertaining than the modern machines. Like the Deal or No Deals that I've done some of the videos on, the £70 jackpot machines, I will have a go at them to try out the methods. If it's a machine that's got a method on it, or something where you can do like multiple cashpot wins, I'll have a crack at that. Do that, like Alien, the method on Alien, also any of the £70 jackpot machines that I've done a video on. But once you've done them a few times and you've gone round a few times, there's really nothing left, because once you take that out of the equation, the machines themselves, frankly, are boring shit with multiple blocks that you can't get through and no actual enjoyment factor. Whereas something like Screenplay, I can play for fun. I'm happy to sit down and play this for half an hour just for entertainment, and against that backdrop it's easy to understand why these things did so well in the pubs and arcades at the time, and why AWPs were so popular at the time, and why, of course, nobody fucking plays them now, because they are shit, money-eating travesties of what the amusement with prize machine once was. But this here is a classic example of a brilliant fruit machine, and it's always important, I think, to remember that we wouldn't be playing these things at all were it not for Wizard and his amazing emulator, multiple fruit machine emulator, and layout creators such as Pook, who go to the time and trouble that they do to create layouts like this for us to play, all of course free of charge. None of the guys are asking for any money for any of this, so I will say thank you to everyone who's involved and who has been involved historically with making things like this a reality on our PC, because they are great to play, machines that you just never thought you'd get to see ever again, and yet here they are running on our PCs and we can play them to our heart's consent. It's fantastic stuff. So there you go, that is Screenplay by Maygay. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. That's it for now. Goodbye.